It's a lot of information to grasp.
Just think about all the things you do in the course of a day that can impact food safety, your restaurant or facility, and Dunkin' restaurant guests.
Hand contact is just one example. Your hands come into contact with many different things throughout the day when you're covering a sneeze, coughing, using the restroom, taking out the trash, handling money,
Touching your cell phone.
That's just to name a few. And all of these actions can contaminate hands and carry bacteria and viruses to foods and surfaces. In this course, we'll learn why employee health and habits are so important to help ensure safe, quality food for guests. When preparing and serving food to guests, it's important to limit and reduce exposure to pathogens. So, what exactly are pathogens? Let's take a closer look. Pathogens are bacteria and viral microorganisms that are not visible to the eye and that can cause several different kinds of illness and disease. They are found in and on your body, especially on your hands, and can be transferred to food through bare hand contact, bodily fluids, sneezing, coughing, and fecal matter. Restaurant employees must notify their manager and never work if infected with any of these reportable illnesses. Norovirus, Hepatitis A, Shigella, E. coli, Shiga toxin producing,
Typhoid fever. Salmonella typhi. Non-typhoidal salmonella. NTS.
and if you're in California, Entamoeba histolytica. In addition to those specific illnesses, you should be aware of any of these situations. Notify your manager about them before going to work, and not work if you're exposed to a confirmed outbreak. You are suspected of causing an outbreak. You have a household member diagnosed with any of these illnesses, or have a household member who has been exposed to a confirmed outbreak. Infection by a pathogen can cause a variety of symptoms. Crew members experiencing any of the following symptoms must notify the manager and not work: diarrhea, fever, vomiting, yellowing of the skin or eyes, which is a symptom of jaundice, sore throat with fever, persistent coughing or sneezing, lesions containing pus on hand, wrist, or an exposed body part,
Persistent runny nose.
Even though you can't see pathogens, they can be there. So take a look at the following personal hygiene standards that can help prevent the transfer of pathogens to guests' food. Always shower or bathe before coming to work.
Don't wear excessive or offensive odors. For example, perfume, cologne, or makeup. Must be free of body odor.
Hair must be neatly groomed. Long hair, touching the shoulder or longer, must be tied tightly back. Don't wear hair accessories that could fall into food and become physical contaminants.
Facial hair must be tightly trimmed. If facial hair is longer than a ½ inch, it must be covered by a facial hair restraint.
Don't comb your hair in food preparation or serving areas.
Keep fingernails trimmed short and clean.
Crew members wearing nail polish or false acrylic nails must properly use single-use gloves at all times. Use a clean, leak-proof bandage to cover cuts, burns, scratches, and open wounds.
Bandages on hands, including finger cots and stalls, must be covered by a single-use glove.
Bandages must be available to employees at all times. Dress code and uniform standards have food safety implications and must be followed. Employees' overall appearance must be neat and clean. Follow brand standards and wear approved clothing and shoes.
Aprons or smocks must only be worn in food preparation in service areas and must be clean and in good repair. Never wipe your hands on your apron or smock. And don't forget to remove your apron or smock before visiting the restroom, smoking, or performing tasks such as cleaning that could contaminate the apron or smock. Watches, bracelets, and other exposed jewelry other than a plain wedding band are not allowed, including religious bracelets. Necklaces can be worn inside the shirt, but cannot dangle through or over the shirt. Post-stud earrings are acceptable, but not dangling earrings. Medical alert jewelry can be a necklace worn inside clothing or in the form of an anklet or shoe tag. Facial piercings are not allowed. Personal items have the potential to bring into the restaurant or facility outside contaminants that impact food safety and may pose foreign object hazards if not stored appropriately. Click on each image to learn more about the acceptable personal items and behaviors.
Personal belongings must be stored in a dedicated area away from food, food packaging, utensils, and food contact surfaces. All medication and health and beauty items must be kept in this dedicated area.
Medications requiring refrigeration must be stored in a tightly covered, leak-proof container clearly labeled and placed preferably on the bottom shelf of the walk-in cooler or dedicated break room refrigerator. Employee lockers, if applicable, should be cleaned daily. Check with your supervisor for the location in your restaurant or facility dedicated to personal belongings and any franchisee-specific policies and procedures regarding personal belongings. Personal food and beverages must be consumed in a designated area away from production, storage, and service areas of the restaurant or facility to prevent possible cross-contamination or allergen cross-contact. They must be clearly labeled in a tightly covered container and kept below and away from restaurant or facility food and food packaging, and must be fully cooked and/or ready to eat. Personal food and beverages must not be stored in employee lockers, if applicable, or prepared using Dunkin' Brands facility or franchisee equipment. During shifts, drinks may be consumed from a closed beverage container if the container is stored and handled in a way to prevent contamination of hands, container, and exposed food or equipment. Smoking, including vape pens and e-cigarettes, is prohibited inside the restaurant or facility and is only allowed in the restaurant's designated outside areas, if allowed at all on the property. Remember to wash hands thoroughly after smoking or tobacco use.